What's going on, everybody? If you want to tag along, we can go run some errands. You know, hit the grocery store, drop some stuff off, pick some stuff up, fight a demon boss. You know, just regular daily routine. No big deal. We're going to go find Gaxkang, I believe is how you say his name, in a little bit. I think we found everything for the Unbound, all the scrolls or whatever they are that we had to find scattered here and there around the world. But I think we got all those. We're going to have to go to back alley for that and some other stuff. Essentially, I'm just going to go tie up as many loose ends as I can.
Here you are again. What can I do for you? All right. Farewell.
There's going to be a point where the game kind of starts to steamroll. You know, it's, you know, kind of like headlong downhill, no stopping this train type of thing. Where, you know, we'll start getting into some real main quest stuff. We're towards the end of the game anyway. Still a few things to do, but I'd like to tie up a lot of this miscellaneous garbage. Pick up some little side missions, you name it, whatever. I want to trigger Errands' event, if I can. His little, I guess you could say, the end of his little personal quest, his dealing with the crows and all that good stuff. Now, the reason I'm heading to Redcliffe right here is there's one more widow to deliver a notice to, so I can turn in a little quest to the Blackstone Irregulars. And it's really just for a little XP and some gold, which I don't need. But, you know, just throwing it in there. This is what I would do on a playthrough. Even if it's just an extra 50 experience points, I'd probably go ahead and do it. It only takes a minute, you know. Run over here, drop something off, see if there's anything else to be found while I'm there, and then head back. You know, no big deal. And honestly, that's why I called this video Errands. That's essentially what I'm doing. I'm doing chores right now. I believe after this, I don't remember exactly what it takes to trigger the alienage being open. I think what we have to do is essentially get arrested. All right, things are going to kind of come to a head, and then we're going to have to start looking into finding evidence against Logain for the Landsmeet, and that's going to involve, we're going to go to the Elven Alienage, at least. I think we go to Howe's Estate. In fact, I think Howe's Estate may be what kind of triggers all this. But through the course of this video, whether I included it or not, I tried to talk to people. If I found anything relevant, I recorded it, but a lot of times people just say the same old thing. Trying to see if any of the other Arls had anything to say to me yet. I think I found one that would talk to me. But the rest of them, it's going to require some kind of evidence to bring to them to open up dialogue with them so that they can throw their hat in our cause or stay loyal to Logain or whatever. I think we eventually have to have a certain number of Arls on our side.
You saved us. I can't believe we're alive. And it's finally over. That's what everyone is saying. We might have to evacuate the village if those Darkspawn come closer. It just seems so horrible. With Mother and Father both gone, I suppose they'll send us to an orphanage, maybe separated. At least we're both alive. I won't forget what you did, though. Neither of us will. Thank you. With Mother and Father dead, we don't have any money. I think we have relatives in Denerim, but we've no way to get there. We'll be fine. I promised Mother I'd see to Bevan's safety, and I will. Oh, your path is probably much too dangerous for us. There are wagons going there, but it would be expensive. That's incredibly kind of you. This is more than I ever dreamed of. With this, I can hire a wagon to take us to Denerim. We have family there, and they'll take us in for sure now. Come on, Bevan, let's find one now. Make her watch over you. I'll never forget you.
And that's just a matter of doing the right thing at the right time. Simple as that. A little more of that and a little less of what Logain's doing, and the world would be a better place, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry, but your husband has fallen in battle. You have my condolences.
What? This is terrible. My beloved.
All right, well, we got the last of those out of the way. Thankfully.
There are many gone who we must honor. But we must...
Yeah, whatever, you useless mother. You really are useless. All right, so, anyway, the country's divided by civil war, of course. Logain's did this, right? And he's blaming it on Arl Eamon somehow, while Arl Eamon was on his deathbed because Logain poisoned him. But it's still Arl Eamon's fault, or something. Anyway, so, country's divided by civil war, and we essentially have to get, the Arls to side with us. And, the Arls are essentially loyal to Logain because no one is willing to grasp the depth of his treachery. I think is, and you see that today amongst people, and this is kind of cool to kind of throw a relevant, cast a relevant light on this, is that people, when things are so bad, it's like the elephant in the middle of the room, if you've ever heard that phrase. It's sitting there and it's obvious to everyone, so everyone's ignoring it intentionally, because to accept that it's there is to acknowledge it, and to acknowledge it is to validate it, it's to make it real. It's not any less real if you don't acknowledge it, but if you can be in denial and pretend that, everything's peace when it's really war, then it's much more comfortable. And all the while, this elephant in the room, middle of the room, is growing, okay? And no one's there to put it in check and stop it. And that's essentially our job in the game, is to kill this elephant in the middle of this room, this obvious treachery of Logain, in his efforts to destroy the country in every facet of Ferelden. And in his words, not in his mind, I'm not convinced that he believes what he says, but what comes out of his mind being completely corrupt, totally wicked, totally gone, totally off his rocker. And I've even expressed in a previous video that I don't even actually think it's Logain, or not Logain in any kind of presence of mind, that he's either completely controlled or it's an imposter. And I get this from Inquisition, and more and more evidence is pointing me towards that. Even Arl Eamon is still in denial as to how Logain could be acting completely contradictory to his nature in every way, shape, or form. Basically stating that this isn't Logain. This is the opposite of Logain. Either he's corrupted 100%, or he's being controlled by something else completely, or he's it's just an imposter. It's an envy demon. Whatever. Any of those are feasible, but this certainly isn't the Logain that anybody knew. This isn't the commander of armies and the loyal general loving Ferelden and all that. He's destroying Ferelden. I mean, maliciously, intentionally, like by point destroying Ferelden from the ground up, every facet of it. Anyway, so the corruption is so... For some reason, I can't act... I thought I already got these, but it's showing that I can get them, but it's not letting me get them here. That was strange. Those may be quests that I don't get to turn in for some. Maybe they're bugged or something. I don't know. Let's, thought I would check. I thought I'd completed one or two of those, like the love letters. Oh, there's probably still one or two to get. I don't know. We'll see. See if I can't complete some of those, but,
Enjoy the reading? What? You already... I should have anticipated that. Well done. You might want to look in the chest behind me. There might be something of interest.
Anyway, so I've kind of veered away from, like, ragging on Logain, which I have every right to, and everyone else does too, even though they won't. They have every right to.
Find everything you need?
Do you have anything else to say, dude? I mean, I turned that in. Okay, whatever. Mr. Secretive. I hope I get a chance to kill that guy, come to think of it. But, really, I'm ragging on whatever this is that's, impersonating Logain or whatever this creature has become. Now, Flemeth makes a point, and it's really relevant to the game, is that the hearts of men can hide things that are, darker than any twisted creature, like a darkspawn. And that's the case here, She makes a good point.
If it isn't the champion who succeeded in the quest for the sacred urn, I had not expected to see you so soon. I've written to the Chantry, telling them of your adventures. They are interested in having me lead an expedition. What do you think of that? I'm quite excited. You made this all possible. I could never thank you quite enough, but I'm certainly going to try. Here, take this reward. I want you to have it. It will certainly do more good in your hands than lying around in this dusty house, eh? And the Arl is in Denerim for the Landsmeet? I was relieved to hear that he is alive and well. It really is a miracle. And now, if you will excuse me, I have so much to prepare for. I wish Waylon was here to see all this.
Yeah, man. That's a dedicated scholar right there. Alright, so tie up that loose end, right? My reward from him. That's cleared up. Like I said, I'm just kind of making my rounds here. Alright, so, anyway, to make this point, alright, what I'm kind of trying to stress here is that in the whole RPG good versus evil, you know, you're the good guy, you have to go beat the bad guy to save the world. I mean, that's what it always boils down to. No matter how you dress it up, that's like the very, very basic foundation principle there. You know, you can throw twists on it if you want to, but the bottom line is there's a bad guy somewhere and you have to go kick his ass to stop him from doing whatever he or she is doing, all right? And so Loghain is that evil here. You think, well, Origins is about defeating the Blight, and that's really secondary. No, the Blight is essentially a tool. And that comes to pass in Inquisition also. The Blight is a tool. That's even said, all right, at the hands of the Elder One, right?
I want to try again. I've learned so much.
Wade.
Please leave the customer alone. How can I help you? You must be kidding. We're done. No.
Errands, more scales. I can make another set.
Dear Andraste, no.
I've been thinking every night about what I do different. It's all in my head. Dear Errands, don't worry. I can make it faster this time.
You can?
You worry too much. Just give me the scales, friend, and I'll have my finest work for you. Perfect, you say? Well, there are a few alterations I could make. I'll close up the shop then. No more new orders. Think of the possibilities.
We're closed. Oh, it's you. Your armor isn't done yet. Come back later.
I don't know why he has such a problem with me. I've probably given him more gold by myself just as incentive to make good armor than they've made in the last year alone, but whatever. He's going to have his panties in the wad regardless. Not sure what that punk's problem is. I need to find another body somewhere. I have no idea where the last one is. I think there's only one more. I don't know.
Nice to see you again. Really? Oh, pardon my incredulity. I would like to examine them in any event. Let me see. The scrolls are old, no question, and the script. It's written in cipher. Early believers used them to keep their writings safe from the Devinter Magus. These could be authentic. Please, let me examine it. I need parchment, quill, and ink. What was the trick to the cipher again? I examined your scrolls. I know a few of the early Chantry ciphers, but I'm not fully familiar with this one. The bits I have made out. This may be an account of Maferath's final days, and perhaps more. I know, it's remarkable. The same Maferath who betrayed our prophet and saw her burn alive in Minrath Rus. If we could get a real translation, well, it could be the find of our lifetime. When I finish decoding it, absolutely, but it will not be easy. It could take months. The ciphers were designed to be difficult for the Magisters to decrypt. Who knows what secrets we can uncover, what truths we can find. Here is all of the allowance I have for acquisitions. Take it and go. 1,000 blessings.
Well, I guess we just made her day, too. That was some scrolls or something that we found up in a library room in the temple, where all those cultists were and stuff. I believe that's what I found for her. I don't know. Anyway, just pick up everything and you can turn it into somebody at some point. Right, I think this is one of those assassination missions that What's-His-Face gave us. And this is just simply a band of mercenaries, which I don't know what Canary are hiding over here for anyway, but be good to get rid of them. Alright, so we have the, you know, the evil here really isn't the Blight. The face of evil here is Loghain and the whole concept that essentially we're our own worst enemy. I think they make that point in several ways. I mean, if you look at the gauntlet that you have to pass to prove yourself worthy to get to the sacred ashes themselves, you have to defeat yourself, right, and each other, and essentially, you know, we get in our way more than anything else. And think about the insanity of this, right? Our governments, our leaders are set up on us electing men to essentially solve our problems or establish laws and guidelines, right, to which we can solve problems as we go, problems that rise up. That's the general idea. What you have is corrupt individuals serving themselves, creating laws that benefit themselves and create the very problem they're designed to fix in the way that they're worded, and the way that they're enacted, and in the way that they're enforced. That's the way it is. Across the board. Doesn't matter what particular kind of political society you're in. Some are more cruel and brutal than others, but the bottom line is the effect is still the same. Is men looking to each other for solutions, that's like looking to the guy who's punching you in the face to give you a Band-Aid. And that doesn't make sense. It's not logical, but it's how we operate. So when you have that type of illogic and reasoning governing you, it's never going to work. It can't work, right? And if you do find a system that works, you need to have people empowered to enact that system. Problem is, if you find the right people at first, that people die. They eventually have to, or they retire, or they leave, or they move, or they go do something else. And so you have to replace them with somebody. At some point, you're guaranteed to find a corrupt individual to take that spot and destroy that perfect system you created. So essentially, even if there is a perfect system, there still isn't one. And so what's the solution? A man has to look outside or above himself to something greater than himself. That would be even an Alcoholics Anonymous principle, is that at some point you have to have a power greater than yourself, right? Because you caused this. You certainly aren't going to fix it. If you knew how to fix it, you would have done it by now. But you can't, and you won't, and you never will. Oh, well, that's pessimistic. No, it's just realistic. It's just the way it is. That's, you know, you look at history as proof, and you keep trying to do the same thing and get a different result. That's the definition of insanity, right? And so I think the point being made here in a very general, broad way, bringing in real-life situations or realistic problems, you know. Of course, blood mages and magic and this and that isn't, you know, necessarily realistic in the world we live in, all right? But the principles are the same, you know, good and evil, and, you know, the struggle, I guess you could say. And here's Zevran's thing, right here. Sweet. I'm glad we found it.
So they sent you, Taliesin. Or did you volunteer for the job?
I volunteered, of course. When I heard that the great Zevran had gone rogue, I simply had to see it for myself.
Is that so? Well, here I am, in the flesh.
You can return with me, Zevran. I know why you did this, and I don't blame you. It's not too late. Come back and we'll make up a story. Anyone can make a mistake.
Oh, sure, you're a nice guy. You're just here to help. Right, I'm buying that.
Oh, does Zevran need to live?
I suspect I will manage just fine, Taliesin. I'm sorry, my old friend, but the answer is no. I'm not coming back. And you should have stayed in Antiva.
Well, that's one way to let him know he's about to get his ass kicked. Him and all, like, 50 of his friends here. Yeah, it's nice to have a good defense right here, because you're going to get hit a lot if you don't. Look at all these traps. See how many of these I can disarm without my followers stepping in all of them. Right? But anyways, alright, so we see the real threat here is Loghain, alright? And Loghain is the figurehead here. He's the example. And like I say, I have this suspicion, and it's going to be really cool if something like this comes out. I think it would add something to the story and the lore and stuff. We find out that, in some way, shape, or form, isn't Loghain. Or at least not the Loghain that's in possession of himself. By all rights, it's someone else, just with Loghain's face. If nothing else, he's being led by something else. He's definitely a tool for a higher power. You don't effectively, across the board, do what he's done accidentally, unintentionally, or by some misguided motives. This is, I mean, he is committing a thorough, well planned out, pinpoint motivated act of war against Ferelden, right? He's not for Ferelden at all, regardless of what he says or may think that he says. There's a liar speaking through his mouth. Whether it's him or some other entity, it doesn't really matter. It is what it is, and he needs to die. I mean, he needs to be removed. Trusting... Oh, wait, hold on.
There it is. Taliesin is dead, and I am free of the crows. They will assume that I am dead along with Taliesin. So long as I do not make my presence known to them, they will not seek me out.
Well, you're welcome.
I do not know. It seems I have options now, whereas once I had none. I have enjoyed our company, but I am wondering if it is not time for me to leave. That would be the practical thing to do, no? There is a freedom awaiting me that I have never known. But I suppose the decision is yours. Will you let me go?
Well, at least you're man of your word, then. All right.
All right. You make a convincing argument. You do seem to stumble onto treasure on a regular basis somehow. Let us return to the task at hand, then. There is still much to be done, yes?
I don't know what level of approval or friendship you need to have with him to keep him around, you know, to keep him from leaving. Maybe just a high persuasion is enough, having maxed out persuasive skills or something. I don't know. But whatever the case, go ahead and keep him around. He hasn't done me any harm, even though he's an assassin, right? So, anyway, all right, but just a bit more of that, you know, if it sounds like I bring it up a bit, well, it's like the, essentially from what I see, like the major underlying principle behind the message they're trying to send in this game. I guess it's the only way I can really put it. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to retool the party. We got Zevran's thing out of the way, and that's what I was aiming for. And now I need to go, this is... I'm not going to say this is the toughest fight in the game. This one will probably test your party build more than any other fight in the game. I'll put it that way. It's going to test every aspect of it. Magic defense, melee defense, resistances, your heals, and your revivability, and your survivability. Well, you'll see. It's just about everything. This guy is a shape-shifting demon of a sort. Super boss level, right up there with, I don't know, like friggin' archdemon or something. That's
Indeed.
actually a lot more like the sloth demon in the Fade, similar to that, but more brutal because you're in a much more confined space. Well, you'll see. Yeah, but this is a tough one. We need to talk to Slim again at some point. Also, I think he'll probably have a new job for us. Don't know that it's necessary to do, but it'd be one more, I would say, quest to complete, right? Now, I think our target is this first back alley. Like I say, this is those things where it said unbound when we found them. I think this is the end of that quest line. But, this is nasty. This is actually really nasty. And, I already said it's embarrassing too. It really is.
Strange you would force such a visit in a time of blight. I suppose I am used to inspiring a different kind of seeker. The adequate ones find the beacons, and then I find them. But you are already brighter than the signal at Ishal. Eyes are on you from a very high vantage, Grey Warden. I cannot hide in your wake. But I will not be a footnote. Witness Gaxkang.
And here he is. Gaxkang the Unbound. Note the word unbound. This is what's going to wipe me. And I don't know that there's a whole lot I can do about it. You know, honestly, in hindsight, there is one solution to this. Is for Wynn to enable me with Force Field. Where I become invincible when I get to a certain point. Because magic resistance is the one major weakness of my character. And once he freezes you solid, he's gonna follow up with several attacks that are just gonna... it's over. Alright, but Wynn's heals, her mana pool, her ability to just spam the crap out of heal, keep Alistair on his feet. Now that I'm down, honestly, there's nobody to pull aggro away from Alistair. So he can hold this demon in both forms. He has a crap ton of magic resistance. In fact, I think he has enough magic gear on right now that he's actually wasting some. I think it's like over the resistance cap. Right, I may need to actually look at that. Maybe give one of his rings to another party member or something like that, because I think he's topped off as far as magic resistance goes. You know, that's by design, and it's for situations like this, where hell, he's probably more resistant to magic than he is to melee stuff, honestly. Anyway, he's doing his thing. Like I said, I'll take control of Wynn. He can do that spirit pull, I guess you could call it, whatever. Well, it's kind of like his version of Warcry, I guess. And that'll knock us off our feet real quick, but it's, like I say, it's nothing the team can't recover from. Thing is my character, I could revive, well, assuming revive was on cooldown. You'll notice there's a couple times I try here to revive. Assuming I got my character back up on my feet, as soon as the Arcane Warrior shape comes up, this guy right here, I'm knocked right back down again. There's really nothing I can do once I'm frozen solid, except have Force Field. And, I have that in my tactics geared specifically for Alistair, because other than this situation right here, I won't personally need it. But yeah, I could have reloaded and retooled my tactics and to kept myself alive, but instead of lying down over there, I'd be frozen solid in place. I'd be healing, I'd be on my feet, I guess, but I would still be as ineffective as I am right now, laying over there looking all pathetic with my glowing daggers at my side, just taking a nap while everybody else fights it out. Yeah, but look at this guy. He has the health pool of a dragon or whatever. I mean, he's definitely boss level. I've heard this guy called the toughest enemy in the game. And, well, I guess if you're soloing, you know, with no followers and you're playing a main character rogue, yeah, this would be pretty brutal. I don't know if you'd be able to get past him. So, anyway, Alistair's doing just fine. Now he made a mention. Did you hear? That can't be by accident. He said, "You shine brighter than the signal at Ishal." Now, Tower of Ishal was there in Ostergard. Okay. See, like I can get up and do work to the Revenant. I can get bit with the Revenant all day long. Well, he can probably hit me, but he's not going to one-shot me. I know that. Assuming he can hit me at all. Doesn't matter. He's worried about Alistair right now anyway. But then this guy gets back up and. I think he changes forms every 10% of health. I think that's how that works. So if you can knock him out of this quickly and get him to morph again, yeah, I have survivability then. But if he hits the AoE freeze thing, the little Arctic blast or whatever that he does, I'm out of there. That's all she wrote for me. Yeah, I got my revenge right there. Yeah, Alistair, you didn't steal that kill, did you, punk? Okay, now the good thing about this guy, it definitely makes it worth it. These are pretty cool. These gloves are actually really cool. Is this guy drops like it's essentially the best shield in the game. The Fade Wall and the Keening Blade. Some would say that's a really good sword too. It's got good damage for just a regular one-handed sword. But this shield, look at this. All right, extra stamina. I mean, it's great for a tank. And actually, if I switch those shields out, I think the shield Alistair's using right now gives him spell resistance that he probably doesn't need. So I switch that out, and that's going to give him extra stamina and all that good stuff. So, and it's got just a good armor rating. What's as it is, good missile deflection and all that kind of stuff. So that's right there for Alistair. That's good stuff. Anyway, he said some signal at a shawl, and he could be talking about the fire that the wardens lit or whatever. But is he referring to something else? He was a chief demon, all right, in the form of a man. Okay, and he mentions a shawl, which is where Loghain had his treachery.
Fighting the good fight, eh?
Follow that out here in a second.
I have one last job, a legendary one. Oh, a paltry 10 sovereigns is my take. Ban Frandarel is one of the richest men in the entire kingdom. At his grand ball next week, he's displaying some of his priceless treasures. Paintings of old masters, the armaments of the first king of Denerim, and more. Oh, more. Mages have put up magical wards, but I've got a route that will bypass that. Once inside, I've no idea how you'll deal with the guards, but if you do, you'll be rich and infamous. I can't wait to see what people say.
All right, so let's follow this train of thought out. All right, so he mentions Ishal, the signal at Ishal, and just the mention of Ishal, period, is enough. Oh, you know what? I'll bet you my armor's ready. Let me go see if Wade's finished my superior set of drakeskin mail or whatever he's making me.
We're closed. Oh, it's you.
The Drake scale armor is done. And it's, well, decent. Few things I'm rather proud of. And it didn't take as long as I feared. Odd.
You'd better be very proud, Wade. We can't afford any more flights of fancy.
I feel good, actually. I wouldn't mind working on Lord such-and-such's armor today.
We'll see how long this lasts. Here's your armor. Now please leave. Welcome. Oh, it's you. Please leave. And if you have any more scales, you can shove them.
Actually.
Don't know when to quit.
Why so glum, Errands? Today is a glorious day. Today, I make dragon scale armor.
I feel just giddy.
Patience, patience. Now, I've dreamed of what I would do every night. It's in my head in perfect clarity. It will be the work of hours.
What? You're serious?
Absolutely. The only question is what type of armor. Dragon scale is marvelous, flexible and tough. I could make a lighter set of dragon skin armor, heavy dragon scale armor, or dragon bone plate. What interests you? Excellent! Excellent! Now don't move! There you go. My life's work, that is.
You did it so fast.
Of course, Errands. Have some faith. I am a master armorer, you know.
Miracles never cease. But you're not welcome here anymore.
I need a sabbatical. Maybe someplace warm.
I hate my life.
Wow, what a D-bag. Alright, well, whatever. Got my dragon bone plate. Something to give to maybe Ogren. Or Sten. I'm looking down the road. At the end of the game, so to speak. Maybe that might come in handy. Who knows? Alright, so anyway. Alright, you have the shape-shifting demon in the Fade that's able to actually sleep us in the real world and bring us in and essentially control us in the Fade. Basically knock us out and bring us into his realm where he can feed off of our just very existence or something. Okay? Really? Another? How many of these are there? We've killed one in like every area of the game, haven't we? There's another one right here. Back alleys to Denerim for some reason, and it's a phylactery. These are ancient mages that we're disturbing here, and these are somebody was saying something along the lines of these were, and they're dressed similar to Templars that we see today with the skirted armor and the winged helmets and so on and so forth, but that these are the spirits of ancient Templars, right? But they're also the spirit form that these major demons can take. Anyway, so you have the shape-shifting demon in the Fade that can control you. Then you have the shape-shifting demon impersonating a man in the form of that mage in that back alley. He appeared as a man. He was a man, right? And then you have the Envy demon impersonating the Lord Seeker in Dragon Age Inquisition. And he was a major demon. He was like a step up from a terror demon. All right? And so what's to say that's not what Loghain is? I'm just saying. If not, then he's being controlled by something like that. Because that's not Loghain that we're dealing with. say that over and over. Really, there's more to that. I don't think this back alley has any more, like, open houses or anything to explore. We have some more back alley thugs, though. I don't know what these guys are doing here, except for just being an annoyance. Alright, so, you know, really, the point I'm making is that, these, I guess you could say theories, are just these thoughts, just kind of throwing them out there, based on what I'm seeing here. You know, putting 2 and 2 together, I think that's how BioWare tends to share their story and their lore and their history and the facts about the game, is piecemeal. You know, a little bit here, a little bit there, from something you see, from something you read, from, you know, something that somebody says, whatever, and you can put all those pieces together, and if you collect enough pieces, you kind of get a good view of the whole picture, you know? But it wasn't coincidence that demon, that major demon, that boss demon, all right? The one impersonating that man mentioned to Shaw. That wasn't coincidence. That wasn't just thrown into the dialogue, into the writing by accident. I won't believe that. There's something more to that. I wonder what that lever's for. Oh, it closes that gate. Okay, that's what it's for. This gate right here. Don't know why I would want to, but there you have it. Alright, so here's this robbery job from Old Slim. Things are awfully quiet. This should be easy. Easy peasy.
Task complete, on to the next.
I can be honest, there's one thing I've never figured out right here, unless this is scripted for something else in the game that I've never seen or whatever, is what that lever does. I have no idea. I'll come back and test it, but I've been here before in previous playthroughs and stuff, and have never seen that lever actually does anything. Okay, so there's like supposed to be crap ton of weapons and armor and all kinds of stuff on display here, right? All I see is a gutter and an empty room, essentially. Gotta be something up here, right? Something? Oh, dead end. Alright, this is gonna strongly resemble the Koosland estate, or at least a very small part of it, from the human origin. Essentially a cut and paste of the same map, I think. I thought at one point that maybe there was like a hidden door, like behind that cabinet right there. In fact, you can see a door, or the skin of a door behind it, but it doesn't register. You know, when you go into your radio menu, you can see things like there's a door over there somewhere. There's just no way to get to it. Anyway, so all of our efforts, we get a scrap of paper worth like 1 copper, and that's it.
I sense something growing.
And of course, it's an ambush. But yeah, I like that cabinet right there. You think, well, maybe there's a secret door behind it. We'll actually get something out of this. But I'm gonna look. It's just there's just nothing there. Because I think this is this whole area is also scripted into something else, like, you know, some complete other quest line or something. That all those things are actually in place in that other area. But for this, this is essentially a bad lead. It gives us news of this, you know, really lucrative robbery, and there's nothing here. It was a setup, essentially. Yeah, like, see, there's no door. I would have thought that there would be. And yeah, I go back and hit the lever and come back and check, but still, it's nothing. Well, these archers are pretty good. They actually hit me. Take that. Alright, well, lots of enemies who didn't drop anything either, but no loot. Like I say, it was a setup.
Light as a feather, silent as a wraith.
It figures there'd be a mage involved, right? Okay, well, I'm not going to let him start doing his spammy thing. Screw that.
Let's make this quick.
Okay, a little help over here, this guy. Okay, I got him spamming heal. Nice that he doesn't have any cooldown on his heal. That's awesome. Wish my characters had the same advantage.
I can't believe Banfran Daryl fooled me. His guards almost nabbed you.
Better have an explanation for that crap.
Listen, I have to go. Here's your coin back. I won't take a silver because of the way that went down. Give me some time and come back. We'll get our revenge, we will.
I don't remember what the last job in this little, in his line of work. I do not remember. It seems like he has us do something else. I don't remember what it is. Oh well, we'll see when we get there. Alright, so I can turn in my, that one assassination of those Canari. Here's all the Arls, or nobles, sitting around.
You're being very foolish. Why would
I have to go find things to give them. Some kind of evidence or some kind of something to give all these people.
I'm busy at the moment.
You'll have to excuse me. I'm engaged at present.
My shift's nearly over.
You know, of all...
Find everything you need?
Okay, so I don't even need to talk to him anymore. I just need to deal with the chest now. Alright, whatever. I'm getting all kinds of roguey type gear, but I think the gauntlets that I'm wearing now with the extra critical damage, I think that's the best thing for me right now. And no more jobs from them either. Alright, well.
Maker's blessings upon you, Warden.
Alrighty then. Guess we're essentially done with our errands. Well, at least we got to fight a demon boss. At least we got to do that. Who's this?
Wonderful. Another one. I suppose you're here to ask for a donation too. West Hill's Arling belongs to the Darkspawn now, girl. Perhaps they're interested in giving sovereigns to the Chantry, feeding orphans, clothing idiots, or whatever it is you want. Shouldn't you be dead, then? How quick did you cut leash and run at Ostagar? No matter. I've nothing left for you to take, Grey Warden. Not even my sons. You're wasting your time here. What do you think happened? Did the Blight escape your notice? War claims the young and strong first, and Plague doesn't care about skill or bravery. There's no point talking about it. Leave me. I've nothing for you anyway.
I wonder how he can be convinced to join our side at the Landsmeet. Not sure if he can. Alright guys, thanks for hanging out and doing our chores with us. Alright, on the next one we'll head out, see where we can go next. Probably Hal's Estate, I think, is our next destination. Till then, y'all take care, go and subscribe, hit that button over my head. Alright, I'll catch y'all later. Bye bye.